Good morning and welcome back to Entry Point on the Prairie.
Except I'm so excited, and I know that you can't see me smiling, but I'm smiling big. It is great to see you guys here. It's been 14 weeks since we have seen each other live and in person. I hope you've been able to watch our videos, our virtual services, and while we've been apart, and I hope that you also have been able to stay connected through our email newsletter. That's why we asked you to fill out that communication card. And so if you didn't, I was scrambling trying to find a way to connect to you. So please, if you don't have my email or my phone number, take out your phone right now and take a picture of this slide and send me your contact information so I can get you connected to our email news. That's your link to everything. All things when we are not meeting in person. Now, maybe this is your first time to visit our faith community, and if so, you need to know just a little bit about us, and that is that we are open and affirming, and we provide the opportunity, the entry point, if you will, for every person to explore or discover exactly what it is that you believe. Now, we used to have programs that we would hand out to you, but as you know, in this day of no contact or low contact, we're not handing you things to fill out. Today's service certainly looks different as you look around and you see everybody with a mask on and you're hearing my muffled voice, but I am smiling behind this muffled voice, and we are trying to do everything that we can safely, which I think this is a great solution. You can sit as close to the band and to each other as you wish. We can socially distance. We have restrooms that we can use. It's all things great. It's a beautiful day. It couldn't be any better. Also, we are not using singers because, as we have all read, singing is one of the most dangerous aspects of having a gathering. So we're creatively using the band today without singers, and we hope that you'll bear patience with us as we try to figure out how to maybe do that in the future. Now, during our time in quarantine, we've all had time to think about our life and clean our houses up and perhaps set some new goals. As a result of that, we've experienced a few career changes right here at Entry Point. Some of you have noticed that Sean Neal is not running our sound. He did not say, "Welcome to Entry Point" this morning. And that is because he is stepping away from his role as our sound engineer, a job that he maintained for the entire life of Entry Point, 17 years. Sean wants the freedom to explore some other job opportunities, and that is already happening, as well as time to invest in his new family. I have permission to make this announcement. I am pleased to announce that Sean and Abby Fox are going to be getting married. So we offer to both Sean and Abby, as well as Abby's daughter Aubrey, our congratulations, as well as recognizing all of the time that you gave to us, Sean. If things were different, if times were different, of course, we would have a cake with your name on it, and we would gather around together and we would eat it after the service, but that isn't happening today. Additionally, Debbie March, who has served as our executive team, on our executive team for 3 years, and as our president, our very strong president, for the last 2 years, has also decided to step away from that position. Let's show Debbie our appreciation for this. And of course, Debbie, we would have a cake with your name on it too if times were different. The really good news about Sean and Debbie is that they are not leaving our community. They are simply moving to a different seat on the bus, as is evidenced by the fact that they are with us today. The executive team has a gift for both of you, so please don't leave before you get that slight gift of appreciation that we can hand to you. Thank you very much. It's been quite a time, hasn't it? You know, a few weeks ago, Marcy said to me, "I'd really like us to plan a vacation." And I said, "Sure, it's been really rough. This pandemic's been tough, you know. I'll tell you what, here's a world map." And so I taped a world map up onto the kitchen wall. And I said, "Here's a dart. Stand back and throw that dart at that map. And wherever that dart lands, I promise you, we will take a vacation there. Wherever in the world it lands." So, looks like we're going to be spending 2 weeks behind the refrigerator sometime in the future. I know you've missed my jokes, haven't you? What a roller coaster we have all been riding since March. Let's just imagine for a moment that it's back in January 2020. And we're just going about our lives, and we receive a visit from ourselves in the future. It might look something like this.
Oh, whoa. Who are you?
I'm Julie from 4 months in the future.
Actually? Are you here to tell me what's going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, because of the butterfly effect, I can only really give you some loose details, but we'll go through the basics. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh, good news?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Great choice. Yeah, cool. So, things have never been better for climate change.
No, that's great.
Dolphins in the Venice canals.
Really?
I know. Well, I mean, I saw it on Facebook. I don't know if it's a real thing. My aunt posted it, but it seems pretty legit.
Oh, okay, well, that's incredible. You know, especially given the Australian wildfires.
The what? Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, those are pretty, I think those are going to be the defining feature of 2020.
Yeah, you'd think.
Oh, no?
Not even a little bit.
Really? Because they're a pretty big deal.
Yeah, your definition of a pretty big deal is going to change, for sure.
Wow. Okay, so what is the bad news then?
You are going to want to pull all your investments.
What?
Yeah, just get everything out of the stock market. Get it all out.
Oh, it's a recession.
You know what? Put a little money in Zoom.
Isn't that a conferencing app?
Yes, trust me.
Okay. While we're being proactive here, actually, if you could just do a Costco run real quick.
I was going to save you a lot of hassle.
Costco. Do you
have any hobbies?
You know, just something to keep you busy? No, not really.
You should get a dog.
I want a dog. You know I want a dog. They're a lot of work, and you've got to walk. You got to go outside with them twice a day.
Right. The walks are going to be clutch.
Right, but I mean, I have to leave them because I have so much travel coming up.
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, yeah, I'm traveling for work.
Oh, you won't be working.
But how do I afford stuff?
Do you take vitamins or juice?
No.
Okay, it might be a good time to just, get that body in tip-top shape. Get strong. Get those lungs a pumping. Cardio, little aerobics.
What the hell is gonna happen?
Look, I know it all sounds scary, but it's really not that bad. For you, right? I mean, for some people, it's not, but for you, it's really not bad. I would, would you rather be in a busy shopping mall or at home on the couch watching Netflix?
The couch?
Exactly. You're gonna be just fine.
Okay.
What do you know about the world of big cats?
So every one of us, of course, reacted with shock, fear, and loss when we were confronted with the news that there was a virus raging in our midst that was deadly and ruthless. We all went into our houses and grieved. One of the most frustrating aspects of this actually relatively short period of time with this phenomenon is that we still don't understand it. We don't have enough information about it, and we don't know what to expect. I don't need to tell you we can't make plans. We lost jobs, we lost hope. We felt cut off from each other. We tried to do everything possible from the safety of our homes, and we tried to reach out to friends and family members. We bought home gym equipment, and we watched our hair grow, and we watched lots of things online, including church, and we dutifully laundered our pajamas. Once we got used to some of the changes, we started reevaluating some things. How we used to spend our time, how we used to leave our home, and what activities we did. I think we're slowly evolving into an understanding of really questioning the time that we spent away from home. Is that really worth doing, that thing? Is it really worth the expense? Is it worth the time away from my family? Is it worth the time away from the most expensive investment I own, which is my home? Is it worth it? We had some home improvement projects, many of us, perhaps some new purchases. We shopped online, we ordered food, grocery pickup, restaurant takeout. We were just getting used to accepting that our lives were now in this new normal and centered around our homes, and everything was online, and then one day, things got way worse. Now imagine our slightly well-adjusted April self receives a visit from our future self.
Oh, hey, who are you? I'm Julie from June. Oh, crazy. I just got finished explaining how nuts everything is going to be to the Julie in January. That's nice. So crazy for her, eh? Gosh, that was fun. The look on her face. Wasn't that so fun when I went back in time? Oh, she's headed for a wild ride. Why does your face look like that? Why do you look like that?
So do you want the good news or the bad news?
No. What? Come on. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'm just trying to think of where you're at. April. You're quarantined.
Yeah. I'm in isolation, which hasn't been that bad.
Have you hit the bread making phase?
Yeah, I'd say so. I have my own sourdough starter.
Ugh, you and everyone else.
Okay. It's pretty crazy about the whole coronavirus, eh?
It's what?
The pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Is that not top of mind?
Have you hit the murder hornets yet?
Murder hornets? That's not a real thing. Murder hornets? Murder hornets! Wow, really? Oh, okay, sit down. Wow. Look, let's just do some good news. I could really use some good news. Oh, she wants good news. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll do the good news here. Verdict's in on the masks. Turns out, wear them.
Well, that's great because, there's been some mixed messaging.
2 astronauts went to the space station.
Okay.
Oh, Betty White was trending.
No. No.
Turns out she's perfectly fine.
Oh, thank God. Oh, that's it. That's it? What? But people must be coming together and staying united?
People have been protesting the quarantine with assault rifles.
What? Yeah, I think it's this like 5G thing. I really don't understand that.
That's ridiculous. Shouldn't the police be involved with that? You know, don't they have a responsibility to protect and serve the health and well-being of every single citizen? Why are you doing that with your hand?
Oh, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. How bad does it get?
You can't tell me what happens? No. But a lot happens. A lot. So what do I do? Well, it gets pretty grim and infuriating and feels overwhelming. If I'm here to give you advice, it would be to say we, us, are a person of privilege, and it's part of our job to use our voice. That's a responsibility we have. You don't have to wait for a crisis to step up. We can't change the past, but we can certainly help make the future better. Okay.
May 25th, George Perry Floyd Jr. was killed by police during an arrest in Minneapolis. Many of us saw the video that showed a black man lying on the ground with a police officer's knee in his neck, while 3 other police officers stood by. As that video circulated and news of Floyd's death spread throughout the world, we heard the sound of collective hearts breaking all around the nation and much of the world. What an awful thing. What a tragedy. No matter our politics, no matter our personal ethics, we must respond to this event morally. Like many of you, I was stunned and paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I should do something. I needed to stand in solidarity. I sat with my feelings for a day. I watched the nation take to the streets in protest. I called Andrew, and we talked about it. We shared our feelings and talked about what we should do as a church. I contacted many of my former students who are black. I contacted my black friends. I engaged them in honest, uncomfortable conversation for days. I reached out to them. We chatted, we texted, we talked. I talked to a random black man walking in my neighborhood while I was walking my dogs. I talked to anyone I knew. I asked questions and I listened. I read everything I could devour. The nation was responding to this social injustice in a way that directly countered the safety measures that had been advised as we tried to avoid becoming infected with coronavirus. Perhaps Varun Soni, Dean of Religious and Spiritual Life and Vice President of Campus Wellness and Crisis Intervention at the University of Southern California, said it best. Here are his words. Several months ago, a new plague drove us all indoors and away from each other. And several weeks ago, an old plague drove us all outdoors into the streets and back toward each other. Whereas the new plague of COVID-19 mandates that we socially distance and physically disconnect, the old plague of anti-blackness demands that we socially re-engage and spiritually reconnect, right here, right now, and with each other. While I don't feel personally comfortable attending a protest, I support those who do. Here are 2 of my friends who have attended a protest. I asked them to share on video their feelings about the experience.
I've spent the last few weeks listening and learning. I didn't speak up at first because I felt that a middle-aged white woman didn't have anything to say, and this wasn't my story. I recently attended the peaceful protest for Black Lives in Noblesville. I listened to a courageous young Black woman share her story, and I watched her tears when she explained how she felt when none of her white friends took a stand for her. As I lay on the ground at Federal Hill with everyone there at the protest for 8 minutes and 40 seconds, I realized that I had to say something. I felt my white privilege, and I know that I have a lot more listening and learning to do. I will learn to be an ally to those who don't look like me, and I will work to become an anti-racist. That's my story.
So I wasn't originally going to participate in the protests at all. The fact is that they didn't really meet my approval as far as what I thought a protest should be. I was all about the fact that Black Lives Matter and that we should be very vocal about that. I have 2 nieces, after all, that are African American. I was raised in a family where activism on behalf of people of color is part of what I was raised to be a part of. I consider myself to be quite woke, as they say. But I was wrapped up in a lot of fear around my older son, who's out in Denver, and he's been protesting every night. You know, he puts himself in front of these tear gas canisters and rubber bullets and all of that stuff. And I was terribly fearful that he was either going to get hurt or get arrested. And I just wanted him home. That's really what I wanted. I wanted my son home where he was safe and sound. And, he finally convinced me that for him, things like equality and freedom are not things that you can just sit around quietly at home and muse about or write pithy statements about on Facebook. That for him, things like equality and freedom are like air. And when he heard the chant of "I can't breathe," to him, he had no choice but to be there and be a part of that. He had to do it. And once I understood where he was at, I was able to, I guess, see things in a different light. And that's when I agreed to go participate in the protest with Jody. We went into a small protest in Carmel and marched with the high school kids there. And then we went down and participated in the sit-in at the state capitol. And that was with thousands of people. And among the different things that I heard and the great examples of people loving each other and caring about each other and the messaging that was going on, and the deeper understanding I got of how important this is, not only for people of color, but for all Americans, that this issue be forever changed. I came away understanding largely in the comments made by Andre Carson that you couldn't just go home from this and go back to the comfort of your houses and say, I protested and that was enough. I have to now engage. I have to be a part of the solution. And so right now I don't have it all figured out, but I'm working through how I can be a part of that. How I can help make sure that this never happens, that we don't end up in the situation where we look back and say, how did another 10 years go by and the world is still the way it is?
Let's be honest. Many people, especially white people, don't know what is the right thing to do. Well, in addition to the chatting and the texting and the talking with others, I've spent significant time taking stock of my own life. I am trying to examine my heart and my mind regarding how compassionate I really am. How much privilege I have. Am I racist? How am I willing to admit my own failings when it comes to racial injustice? This is a significant social moment. Make no mistake. We have to admit that inequities continue to exist in our culture. We have to figure out how to do better. It is 2020, for crying out loud. I can't believe we are still struggling to assign rights and value to every single human being. I can't tell you what to do. We make it a habit to not tell people what to do in this faith community. However, I would encourage you to do something. Read, talk, protest, give money. Do whatever suits your style, but please do something. Here are 3 specific things that every person can do while we are focusing on this issue. We can all pray. We pray for the ability to remember that above everything else, every human being is created as a child of God, and every single person needs to be seen in that light. We can pray for those who are afraid for their lives because of the color of their skin. We can pray for those who are mourning losses. Secondly, we can learn about the pain of others' lives. We need to educate ourselves to learn about and know another person's experience. We should seek relationships with people who are not like us, so that we can learn how to properly love our neighbor. If we were not experiencing a health pandemic right now, I would be handing you packets of information, packets of resources that I have compiled, books and movies and TV shows that will help us to understand an accurate portrayal of what it is like to be black in America. Now, I didn't choose these sources because I'm white. I went to the professional, the academics, I went to black sources and got these resources. And I encourage you, if you want to look these up, they're on our website. So go to our website and look at the tab on the homepage that is labeled blog, the pastor's blog. Click that and there is a huge profile of resources on racism in America that is, there are hundreds of things that you can read. Movies that you can watch, TV shows that you can watch. Finally, let's not be afraid to talk to each other. Let's not be afraid to ask difficult questions, to have those uncomfortable conversations. We need to talk about race. It's important for all of us to share our perspective, but it's much more important that we listen. Let's try to be the one talking less and listening more. Now, many companies and churches and organizations have publicly made statements of support following the death of George Floyd. And you might be wondering where our statement is. Funny you should ask. The executive team and I have spent time crafting what we believe is a reasonable statement to represent Entry Point Faith Community. Here is our statement. We recognize and stand against anti-black violence. We acknowledge that we are all one human family, whatever our national, racial, ethnic, economic, spiritual, and ideological differences. In solidarity, we denounce hatred and violence in all its forms. We are committed to building an inclusive faith community. May we at Entry Point model the way forward. It is my prayer that we will join together to make that statement true. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone. Please join me in a prayer of gratitude. God of all gifts, giver of grace, creator of the universe, we are grateful for the blessing of life, for the nourishment from earth that sustains life, for the love we share that grows life. We are grateful for your beauty that surrounds us and reminds us of your presence and your majesty in abundance. We are grateful for the love of family and friendship, for the fellowship of community and church. We are grateful for struggle, pain, and challenges we endure. For these are our best teachers and growth opportunities for change. We are grateful for peace, serenity, courage, wisdom, and forgiveness. We are grateful for your unconditional love, God. Give us the ability to see each other through your eyes with no judgment, remembering we are all your children. And for that, we are grateful. Amen. Let's take a few moments of quiet reflection and consider these lyrics to this song. Perhaps it is all as simple as recognizing that sometimes we have not allowed some people to matter to us. Look at the compassion and understanding that is possible with the lyrics to this beautiful song. You matter to me.
Robert F. Kennedy once wrote these powerful words. It is from numberless, diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. I am choosing today to believe in that tiny ripple of hope. I pray for the day that the walls of oppression and resistance come crashing down once and for all. It has been a miracle to see you today. Let's do this again on July 12th. And in the meantime, please keep watching our virtual services. Next week, Mark Miller will be using the Sermon on the Mount to teach us how to succeed in life. Have a fantastic Sunday and go in peace. Amen.